Good day, everyone, and welcome. My name is Marvin Dry. I am a member of the Bethel's Congregational Church, but also the chairperson-elect of the Algoa region. And I normally host various people, and with me today is Ms. Leslie Ann Dietloff from the Henke Congregational Church, but she will tell us shortly about who she is. Today is Human Rights Day in South Africa, and for those of you that don't know where the day comes from, it's also called Sharpeville Day, because in 1960 there was the Sharpeville massacre, and we today commemorate 21st of March as Human Rights Day. And in the same spirit of human rights, we of course recognize our Palestinian brothers and sisters that are currently, whose human rights are not being recognized by the State of Israel, and we today also recognize their plight for autonomy, for being a people that is recognized by the world and has their own sovereign space and own sovereign country. But today we are speaking is also International Downe Syndrome Day, and that's the reason why Ms. Dietloff is here. She will share with us a few thoughts. But first of all, Leslie Ann, welcome.
Thank
and,
you.
And thanks for joining me. But tell us, who is Leslie Ann Dietloff?
Okay, Leslie Ann Dietloff, from Henke, born there, went to school there, primary school. After primary school, I went to Humansdorp, and then after that, I went to Wellington to train as a social worker.
Hey, by the way, the other day was International Social Workers Day.
Yes.
So,
on the 18th.
yeah, but what do we say? Happy Social Worker
Yes.
Month, Day?
Happy Social Workers Day and happy Social Workers Month.
Yes. Fantastic. Well, happy Social Workers Day and
Thank
month
you.
to you guys. Yeah.
So yeah, from Henke originally, and been working at a couple of places, of course. I'm currently working at Riversdale Gulkam Health, where we specialize in disabilities, Association for Persons with Disabilities.
Okay.
So that is where I'm at. Yeah, that is where I find myself now.
So at the moment in the Western Cape,
Yes.
but still affiliated to Henke Congregational.
Yes, I'm still a litmat of the Henke Congregational
A member
Church.
of the Congregational, but you of course would probably attend Heidelberg.
Yes, I'm at JF Newman. I'm a visitor there.
Sure.
So I do go to JF Newman Memorial very often, and I enjoy being there.
Okay, fantastic. International Down Syndrome Day. Tell us a bit more.
International Down Syndrome Day, it all started with Dr. John Landon Downes, who is a physician, and in 1866 he started looking at characteristics or trying to identify symptoms and signs in a child with Down syndrome, and that is where Down syndrome is coming from.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. And so these individuals get born with a extra chromosome?
Yes. In simple English or in simple terms, I would say there are two original chromosomes, and then there is an extra one.
Sure.
Originating from the two, and that is what is causing chromosome 21.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And of course, during a pregnancy these days, probably this should be able to be picked up, or it can be picked up?
Within the 10 to 14 weeks, between 10 and 14 weeks of pregnancy, a sonar is done, a scan is done, and then doctors are able to actually pick it up there. If it hasn't been done within the period of 10 to 14 weeks of pregnancy, then of course it can be done in the 20th week of pregnancy, and it can be detected there.
So this would necessarily come up when women or couples go to the gynecologist for these tests, for these sonars, so that they can actually do the relevant tests to actually pick that up. It's not is it preventative?
No, unfortunately, it can happen to any woman.
Yeah.
But of course, depending on the age, age does play a role within pregnancy and bringing a child into life with Down syndrome.
Sure.
So that is possible, having to look at the age as well, which could be a contributing factor
Sure.
to
Okay.
Down syndrome.
From child is of course born, and then as parents, as partners, we are aware that our child is going to be differently abled, and being a Down syndrome baby, so we can already start prepping for that. But what is available, or how can we assist? How do we, as a family, as a community, work with or assist families or children or families that have Down syndrome children?
I think this initiative that we are doing today with regards to Down syndrome is a very good one, because it requires ongoing education and awareness campaigns within our congregations, within our communities. We need to make people aware and alert that this is a reality, and there are people amongst our congregations and communities, and that it should be treated as normal and not as differently abled.
Correct.
Or look at one child looking at a Down syndrome child funny. And that is what we call inclusivity, that we should include these people diagnosed with Down syndrome.
And, it just makes me wonder. I think there's a young man, well, he's not young anymore, but there's a person at, I think, Chetty, that has a person that has a Down syndrome. That's a Down syndrome person, but I can't think of any other church where I've seen a person. And it could be because of the stigma. Could be because I don't want to allow my child to go to Sunday school or to youth or to an organization because of the stigma.
Stigma is such a big thing still in our communities, which is actually very sad to think that we are in the 20th century and we are still stigmatized with Down syndrome.
Sure.
We need to teach our children from young ages that these things are happening. Anyone, and it's not only certain people or certain classes, socioeconomic classes, where it's only those people who can be diagnosed with Down syndrome. So, like I said, and I want to emphasize that this can happen to anyone.
Yeah, but as you said, I think the main thing is the awareness.
The awareness and ongoing education. We need to continuously educate and make people aware of Down syndrome, that it is existing.
And of course, us as churches should go out of our way to start including not only, yes, it is International Down Syndrome Day, but also all persons that are differently able, that we should have a place within our communities, within our churches, where we can create a space for them, or be more inclusive, that we deal with the stigma.
Yes. Yeah, inclusivity and accessibility is key for persons with disabilities or differently abled persons, and that is something that we also need to work on still, especially within our congregation, within our communities, because of the stigma that is still so high.
Sure. Tell me, age-wise, how old would a person that is diagnosed with Down syndrome, normally, how old do they normally get?
With new technology and medical devices and advanced medical techniques, our doctors has now managed to get persons with Down syndrome to live up to, not necessarily the doctors, but that is how it is nowadays, that people can actually live up to 60.
Wow.
60 years and older, and they obviously they live a normal life.
Yeah.
And they do the same things that abled persons can do. It's just that they are doing it differently, and they wouldn't necessarily do it the way a normal person would be doing it.
Sure. But I think just like most things, there's also lessons to be learned from them in terms of their approach to life. But we can only get there once we allow them into the conversation, or allow the conversation around people with Down syndrome.
I think that is really a very important point, and that is something that we need to work on, to make people feel part, especially persons with Down syndrome or differently abled, it speaks for inclusivity. Uh, they need to feel and experience a sense of belonging as well, as much as a normal person or a
Sure.
person who doesn't have a disability. So those are the things that we still need to work on and that we are lacking on as a congregation, as a community. That people are still being treated as this one is not normal.
Yeah.
And we look at those people like they are not normal. And it's not fair towards them.
As a person working within that space, there's of course a lot of things that you guys attempt to do, that you guys try to do within the space of people that are differently able. What advice could you give our congregants, our churches out there, around people that are differently able, but in this instance, also including people with Down syndrome?
I think UCCSA is such a privileged church in general, overall, that we do have these professional people within our reach. We do have
Sure.
these resources. It's just for us to go out there and use what we have to our disposal. And that is where we can start as a congregation, as UCCSA, to bring awareness, really make use of these resources. Awareness is key. I really cannot emphasize ongoing education enough. Make people part, include people, for them to expand their knowledge about disability. And of course, with these resources to our disposal, like our speech therapists, I want to believe that we do have these therapists amongst us that we can, within the framework of UCCSA, we can work in, like your speech, like your OT, your occupational therapist, like your physiotherapist, early intervention programs like your musical activities, playing ball, do all the things. And that is how we can create awareness and even educate mothers and fathers or parents or caregivers about Down syndrome and to care better and understand so they have insight into the diagnosis.
Sure. Ms. Dilov, thank you for your time. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for sharing it with us. I know it's long weekend, and you had a birthday the other day.
Yes.
So happy birthday!
Thank you.
May God continue to bless you, and as well as your ministry and working with people that are differently able. And hopefully, soon enough, you will find your way back to the Eastern Cape. And come and ply your trade here with us.
Hopefully.
But so, guys, I think it's a valuable conversation to have. So thank you very much to you, Leslie Ann, but also to all of our members and those listening and those watching. May we be deliberate in acquiring the knowledge, drawing in the people into our different congregations, working with the community, because there are people within our community that might be looking after people that are differently able, that we might be able to partner with so that we can achieve those goals. And I'm a big proponent and supporter of active ministry. That our ministry is not only on a Sunday, but it's every single day after the Sunday service, so that we can use the knowledge that we have. We can share that with our congregants as well as our community out there. And on this Human Rights Day, let's recognize everybody that in the world that is feeling oppressed today. Our different groups, our LGBTQI plus community within our own church that doesn't get the necessary recognition. So within our South African Constitution, we have protection for all the groupings, for all people, and hopefully as a church, as a justice church, we will continue to strive for the human rights of all peoples of this world. So thanks very much for joining us. Have a beautiful 21st of March, and may it only be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.